My name is Damon Butler. Today is the best day of my life. And it's the best day of my life because tomorrow is not promised. So it might as well be the best day of your life. So the day that I found out that my uncle was a real life superhero, and I'm talking about my Uncle Emory, it's also the same day that I almost died. It was during the Olympics, 1996 Olympics in Atlanta, Georgia. So my uncle runs a roofing business, Brown's Roofing Service. First job I ever had. And I worked there longer than I ever worked anywhere. But I had been working since I was about 11 or 12 years old. I started off like shoveling shingles, picking the shingles up off the ground and picking the nails up with the thing that attracts the metal in the nails. I had been doing that since I could remember. Thankful for that. But okay, during the 96 Olympics, the city was going wild. They was building a whole bunch of stuff. They was just throwing stuff up. Not to say they was throwing stuff up, but they was putting up a lot of stuff. They was making a whole lot of adjustments. A lot of y'all was getting put out y'all projects. They started shutting stuff down. So we was doing a job downtown, and at the time I had to been about maybe 18. I was 18 because this was right around the time I had dropped out of high school. I was supposed to graduate 1996, class 96. I dropped out. I called my uncle. I'm just like, well, I'm done with school and I'm ready to work full time. He didn't give me no whole bunch of back and forth. He was just like, well, be there at such and time. That's all it was about. So, and Barnes was a guy who used to work with, as long as I could remember, Barnes was always working with my uncle. Barnes was a rough white dude. When I say rough, like pickup truck, a case of beer, a cooler full of beer. He was a good dude, man. He was a real good dude. Barnes used to come pick me up, man, and get me to work. And when I was going through something, man, the dude used to try to encourage. In fact, when I got put out of my mama's house, I got into it with my stepdad, and I ended up getting a restraining order against me. I couldn't go to my mama's house. But Barnes was just like, man, if you want to come out here and stay with me, man, you can. But Barnes, at the time, Barnes was living in Conyers. And since then, I've lived in Conyers, but it wasn't no way possible I was going out to Conyers to live with Barnes. That wasn't happening. And I'm thankful for all my uncles. I know that sometimes I'd be like reaching out in my stories but I'm gonna bring it back. I'm saying I appreciate all my uncles because they all have played a role in my life. Like when because me and my stepdad got into it, I had to go live with my Uncle Bobby and Doe. So I was living with my Uncle Bobby and I was working for my Uncle Emory. But I also remember as a child, I used to work with my Uncle Wilford. My Uncle Wilford used to do the newspaper for Atlanta Journal-Constitution. And we used to get up and we worked and you got paid. So I always was able to hustle within my family some kind of way. I used to remember doing the papers with Uncle Wilford, man, getting up early in the morning and rocking and rolling, riding around the city, getting it done, man. That's probably why I be working 7 days a week. But nevertheless, so Barnes used to work with my Uncle Emory as well. And Barnes used to come pick me up. And really, like, that was the person that if I could talk to my uncle about just about anything, but when I was pissed off with my uncle, I could talk to Barnes. Cause Barnes was just like, he was just there. He was just there. He was messing with me since I was a little kid. And technically I was still young, but he just like, he was messing with me. You know what I mean? I tell him where I'm gonna be at, he come pick me up, drop me off. And lo and behold, The truth is, Bond, Bonds was the reason I almost got in trouble at work one day because Bonds used to drink beer in the morning. He used to drink beer in the morning, and I was almost an adult, but I wasn't no real drinker or no smoker. But Bonds asked me one day, "You want a beer, Butler?" Right? Yeah, about 7 o'clock in the morning, but yeah, I'll take one. So I drunk a beer with him. We on the way to work. Bonds so gangster with it that Bonds, and you talk when I say, and I can see Bonds like he probably, I was 6'3", but I'm about 6 feet. Thin build, but he was one of them country white boys, man, and he ain't take no shit. He ain't take no shit. So, Bonds was drinking beer, and I'm just rolling with him. I'm like, pass us another one, Butler. And shit, we had drunk 3 beers before we made it to work. I wasn't cut out for that. I wasn't cut out for that. My cousin Kirk had called me out, man. He had got close up on me. He looked at me. He said, "Man, you been drinking?" Man, you been drinking? So nevertheless, so we downtown and everybody's doing everything. I seen they got 20 phone booths that they just set up right here on the corner. The whole city, if you doing construction, man, you at work, you doing something. And Brown's Roofing Service is right in the middle of everything. So we working with other contractors, like it's people building inside the building. I don't know what they was doing with this building, but it was a lot of stuff that was going on. They was building inside it. They was building on top of it. We was doing some work on top of the building. So, this is what I remember. I remember Bonds, me and Bonds was about to pick up this copper line. It was a copper line. It was probably like 2 or 3 of them together. Or maybe it was one. It was a long time. This is 1996. But me and Bonds was about to pick it up. And then as me and Bonds was about to pick it up, my uncle Emery came over. He was just like, "No, I got it. We'll get it." And my uncle Emery and Bonds, they picked the copper wire up. And then so what we did not know is that copper wire, that copper pole was hanging off of the roof. That's how long it was. It was hanging off of the roof. And when they lifted the copper wire, it hit the telephone pole. And when it hit the telephone pole, man, it sent electricity through that copper. And in some kind of way, man, like sometimes like on the roof, you got like poles that stick up through the roof. Not pole, but some structure that goes through the roof down to the floor. And some kind of way, man, like we heard this big boom. We heard this big old boom. And then we just seen smoke everywhere. So don't nobody know what's going on. But then, so when the smoke clear, Bonds is stuck between the pole and he still got the copper wire. He can't put the copper wire down. And he just stuck. And I'm looking at Bonds. I'm looking at Bonds and his headband that he got on, his headband catches on fire while I'm looking at him. And I don't know what to do. And I didn't know what to do. So I'm standing, I'm looking at him. Cause it's like, it's happening fast, but it's like in slow motion, man. Cause I'm looking at Bonds and I know he a tough ass dude, man. But while I'm looking at him, I'm just like, man, like I ain't never seen this. This dude catch on fire. His headband caught on fire, man. I didn't understand what was going on. I wish I did, so I could have done something. But at the time, man, I'm 18, bro. I'm just stuck. So when the smoke clear, man, shit, Bonds hit the ground, and then my Uncle Emery was he was laid back on the wall. And when he was laid back on the wall, you could see where his ring had burnt his finger and where his bracelet had burnt his wrist. And then I later found out, man, that like the keys that was in his pocket burnt his leg real bad. And I'm not a doctor, and I didn't know a lot about life at 18. And I'm still learning about life, but in my mind, bro, Barnes and my Uncle Emery was dead. Cause neither one of them was conscious, man. Neither one of them was moving. Neither one of them was conscious. And Barnes was literally on fire. And man, look, I was working with, and on the roof, on our team, it was my cousin Kurt, my older cousin Kurt, and then I can't think of the Rob. I think of the Rob or something. But he was a grown man. I'm the youngest person here, so. But at the time, I was considered to be like a helper. So me and Rod was in the same boat when it came to, hey, go get that, go get this. So, man, I started crying. I'm like, nigga, this the only man I'm scared of in real life. And he just got hit with this car. He just got hit with whatever's going on. Because at the time, we didn't know it had hit the roof. It had hit the line. Man, I started crying. Then I see Rod, he crying. And then that's when I understood that my cousin Kurt was built different. That's when I understood that he was built different. Cause as I'm standing there crying, this nigga goes straight into get it done mode. He was like, what you doing? He was like, why you crying? I can't say nothing. He was like, did you die? Maybe he didn't say that, but I remember over the years, I have replayed it. Did you die? Did you get hurt? I was like, no. Well, let's get some of this. Let's get this stuff up and let's get up out of here. I said, man. When I look back on it, I'm just like, but, I mean, men breed men. Men breed men. And you can sit around and poke or you can get shit done is what at 45, what I concluded at the time. I was just like, this nigga's a madman. This nigga's a madman. Nigga, your dad is sitting here, and I know Barnes dead. And I think Uncle Emery dead, but he didn't miss a beat. He stood right up to the plate. He stood up to the plate. And we started getting that stuff about the way, man. And later on, I went and visited my Uncle Emery in the hospital. And he was alive. He was alive, man. He's still alive. This is the only dude that can call me and tell me to take something off of Facebook. Or can call me and tell me something. I really sit down. I ain't scared on, but like his word has a lot of, I got so much respect for my uncle. Like I work with / for my cousin Kurt and them. And it be times where I don't mess up with my cousin Kurt because I don't want my Uncle Emery to catch nothing that Butler done did that's been sideways, man. So, man, if you ain't never had no Uncle Emery, man, that sucks for you, man. But that was the day that I realized that my Uncle Emery was a superhero, man. Because in retrospect, something that killed somebody else, and rest in peace to Barnes, man, he was a man's man. And he was a dirt bike riding white boy from Conyers, man, but he had my back. But what I'm saying is that something that killed one man and it made him burst into flames. Man, my uncle withstood it and stood up, and as soon as he was able, we was back out there roofing, man. We was back out there roofing. Today is the best day of my life. My name is Danon Butler. Everybody that you know, every relationship that you have will one day end. All the possessions that you have, you'll one day lose them. All the money that you have, one day it'll be somebody else's to spend. So while they still playing your song, man, go on and do your little dance.